Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when or where you are, I guess. If you're listening to this just as it came out, I'm trying to think where that will be around the world. 2 o'clock in the morning in London. So 2 o'clock in the afternoon if you're in New Zealand. And then sort of around going to midday to like 11 o'clock in the morning if you're in Australia. If you're in New York, it's what would that be? 9 p.m. Sunday. Probably just sat down to watch something, sort of relaxing before Monday morning, the rat race. And if you're in California on the West Coast, that's another 3. 6 o'clock. Probably a nice feeling. 6 o'clock on a Sunday. Always nice and chill. Although I'm very lucky that because of not having a proper job, I don't get the... I think people call it... Do they call it the Monday Scaries or something? Never really liked that name. Certain things I don't like, certain wordings of things that people use that I'm not a fan of. One of them is Sunday Scaries. The other one is people saying comfy. I just say comfortable. I'm not comfortable with the word comfy. It just doesn't make me feel good. Cuddles, rather say a hug. Same as snuggles, absolutely not. Unless it's Richard Parker, I'd say a cuddle. Cuddle, that would be okay. Or child. People in a relationship doing it. Can I have a cuddle? Hug. Yeah. What's the other one I don't like? There was another one I don't like. It will come to me. There's a few. But yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the Sunday Scaries. So I'm lucky that I don't get that because don't have to be up on a Monday morning, I guess. Don't have to worry about a meeting with the boss or something. I guess I just have to wait. If I'm honest, since I've been doing this podcast, I think I wake up on a Monday morning and my big worry is, what if it didn't upload correctly? And that I just have messages from people going, where is it? I need it. I mean, I'm sure it's not that desperate, obviously. No one's actually going to react like that. But people might in the moment. Especially if you get into a routine. And maybe if you're like autistic and then, you wake up on that Monday morning. And if it is your routine, I'm the same. Especially with podcasts, I am actually. If there's one, you get your podcast routine. I'm very flattered to be part of yours. If I am. And the reason I say is if I am, there might be someone listening to this for the first time and I'm not, or just dips in and out. Also, can I just say this right at the start? Looking at the reviews, I don't know if Spotify's the same about locations, the reviews, that it only shows you where you are. But I know how many people listen on Spotify, and I know how many people have given this a star rating, and it's not adding up. So if you're listening now, because I say it at the end, and I think people... they think about the next podcast by that point. Or as I start to wind down, as I start to land, I think, as we're coming in for landing at the end of the podcast, maybe you just go, I've had enough of that. Now, just go, you know what? Yeah, I do listen to this. I do like it. And he does sit down and give me an hour of his time. I'm just going to hit 5 stars. Why not? Please do that. Wherever you listen. Apple or one of the other ones. But... yeah, so I'm very lucky I don't get that. The Sunday Scaries. So actually, I always enjoy a Sunday evening, especially when the American football is on. That starts at 6. That'd be London time, 6 o'clock. The first game's on. And I'd sit down, and it's a good time for us, actually, because if you're a football fan, American football fan in the UK, 6 o'clock on a Sunday, it's very nice because you can sort of guilt-free sit in and watch the football then, I think. Because sometimes during the day, especially if it's a nice day, sort of want to be out enjoying it and doing something. The only problem is the later games then we don't get, which will be the issue with the World Cup. The World Cup's coming this summer in America, so there are going to be games, I guess, that will be at 1 o'clock in the morning London time, or 3 o'clock in the morning. So I wonder if they'll make sure England don't have that. But if they do, the pubs will be open. In the 2002 World Cup, South Korea, did they share it with Japan? Or was it just South? Where was the 2002 World Cup? Was it? Am I right in thinking that? Let's have a look. First Google of the episode. 2002 World Cup. But I remember you can go to school early and you'd watch the game, England, Brazil. Japan and South Korea, yeah. It was held from the 31st of May to the 30th of June. I didn't know that. It started on my birthday. 31st of May. Sorry, 31st of May. Wow. That's early. Usually they're mid-June till mid-July. Wonder why that was. Wow, it started on my birthday. I wonder if I did anything for that. Thinking then, me, sat down watching it. I love it, love the World Cup. Just really does bring people together, doesn't it? There's something about it. If you're not, it might be that people watch football every 4 years. I think when it's the World Cup, there's something magical about it. I think that any game is big. And you know as well, what's important about the World Cup is it's the tournament that players don't want to get injured for. So sometimes you'll get these big games that players know they don't want to get injured. Or maybe you sort of, they call it parking the bus, you don't want to concede a goal. But the World Cup, it's a lot more just go for it. God, it's great. I can't believe that it's in America now this year. In America, yeah. North America, I think it's going across Mexico, United States and Canada. But they also had it in 1994. They also had the World Cup. What was that, 32 years ago? But the last time England had it was 66. So I can't understand how people don't kick off about that more when it's just not shared enough or sort of equally. Why would that be? Oh, obviously, our fans will let us down. That's probably a lot to do with it, actually. In this 66, I imagine it was a lot calmer. But yeah, we did, during COVID, we got to host the Euro final, I guess, was that? It was the one that was supposed to be during 2020, I guess. Was it in 2021? Was that what happened there? Was it 2020? Yeah, 2021. Yeah, the Euros. And then, yeah, I think we let ourselves down in the final there, so we didn't really help ourselves. That was people rushing into the stage and they didn't have tickets. And somebody in Leicester Square put a firework up his bum. The stick was up his bum, so I think it was the firework would fire outwards. It wasn't going to fire inwards. Although, obviously that is another level of stupidity. So you wouldn't put it past him. I think we just all got a bit excited. Yeah, it was a weird atmosphere. I remember being in the Lighthouse pub in Battersea watching the semi-final, and it was England won to reach the final. And I'd never seen England in a final. A lot of us hadn't been in one since 1966. So when you went out into the street, it was people driving past tooting their horns. We went up to Albert Bridge and everyone was just taking it all in. People were out the windows waving and cheering. God. Yeah, that was lovely. And then the final really ruined it, actually. It was very... I remember getting the train down to Balham. Managed to book a table there. And just on the train, just the atmosphere was a bit too... People had been drinking all day. People just got excited, and then it became a bit... Yeah, a bit much. I don't know why they put the finals so late, if I'm honest. Because it was 8 o'clock at night. A final doesn't need to be at 8 o'clock at night. A final can be at 3, I think. I guess... I'm trying to think what the best time is for everyone around the world to watch it. I guess 8 o'clock. Again, we go back to the timings. First thing in the morning for Australia and New Zealand. Midday for California. Obviously, I'm missing out a lot of countries there. So what you get in the Middle East is getting that at midnight. Actually, it's not terrible. 8 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time. I think that is a very good time for a final, thinking about it. For everyone around the world. Am I right? Who am I missing out there? Who's going to... Perth. Perth aren't going to enjoy that, actually. I'm thinking of New Zealand being 12 hours ahead, but a lot of Australia isn't that. So I think Perth's 7 hours. So for them, that's 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, although Perth are pretty tough people and very laid back. So I think if you're going to disturb anyone's night's sleep, I think West Coast Australia is probably who you'd go for there. Although they're big drinkers. So if it's Australia in the final, I think the chances are slim. Then, cool, yeah, but they wouldn't mind. They would be up for that. Oh, yeah. I'll drink anytime, mate. You got to watch the Aussies in the final. You got to watch those Kangaroos. Then, yeah, I'll be up first thing. Don't worry about it. Probably won't even go to bed, mate. That'd be chaos, actually. In Perth. Pretty tough in Perth, I think. We have a sip of the tea for the first time. What are we in? 12 minutes in. Should be about right. Yeah, nice. Lovely day today. I'm recording this on Sunday, in fact. So no fear of tomorrow. But it is 4 o'clock. And it's lovely. I've done 2 washes today. I did a video the other day about things people say when the sun's out. You know, you always compare it to the hotter country. It's hotter than Spain, hotter than Jamaica today, guy on the radio said. All that stuff. Anyway, one thing that I think happens in the UK, as you say, that it's... It means you can get a few washes done. So I did that, as I probably get 3 washes done today. Now, it seems a lot of people in Canada, actually, seem to be commenting to say, why would that mean, why would you not choose a dryer? Then annoyingly, I had some people replying to that saying the reason that you wouldn't, that our dryers aren't very good, and that a lot of people here don't have dryers. Maybe that is the case, but for me, I just thought it's always been, I don't like drying my clothes in dryers because they shrink your clothes. Surely what's the word I'm looking for there? Not benefit or positive, but the preferred option would always be to, dry it in the sun anyway, because that's just nice, isn't it? And it gets a bit of fresh air to it. But dryers, I can't even putting my socks in the dryer. I find them too tight afterwards, so I can't. It affects it too much. And my mum used to love to dry clothes. She's still alive, but I just meant when I lived there. She used to shrink all my clothes. Remember, I got one from Gap one year, a jumper from Gap, and it was one of those. It's like a blue one that had the. It's almost like sort of thing a sailor would wear, and I decided I wanted one that year, and my girlfriend at the time got it for me, and then I wore it once over a white t-shirt. I quite liked the look, and then my mum washed it, and it shrunk because it was, I guess, would that have been wool or something? I don't know, but I guess so. But and then I said, Mum, you shrunk this. Like, I couldn't wear it. It was way too small. And she went, must have been poor quality. Blamed it on that. I was like, no, it's you putting it in the dryer. Obviously, it's not supposed to go in the dryer. She used to chuck everything in the dryer. As I say, she still does. She's still alive. But I mean, my clothes when I lived there, God. I mean, thanks for raising me and obviously lived there for free, but it used to be annoying when it came to the washing. So I think a lot of the classic sort of stereotype is that, especially men, move away from home, and then when they go home, they take their washing back to get their washing done. Not me. Much rather do it myself, thank you. And I do like getting the washing done. As I say, done 2 today. Get that out there. And of course, I go to New Zealand on Tuesday, so you want to make sure you've got everything done. And for me as well, I'm thinking ahead. I'm thinking I want to have my comfortable clothes See how I said comfortable clothes, ready to go for the plane journey. But then what I'm thinking is, when I come back, I also will be very tired and I want to put on my most comfortable clothes. So I want to have them washed and ready for when I get back as well. I'm thinking very ahead here. So getting all that done. It's nice to get it done as well. And when I come back, I'm going to have loads of washing to do. So you want to get on top of it. It's always nice to do. Always just something that feels very good about it. And I've got stuff hanging up already from another wash. So you take that down while the wash is on, just before it finishes, so you can get the other washing ready to go outside. Lovely. I love that. Sort of, I found that I'm very good if I'm pottering around, getting lots of bits done as I go throughout the day. Like as I was doing the washing earlier, took one wash outside to hang it up, walked past my plant, thought, you need a water, don't you? So I stopped what I was doing, went there, picked up the water in, not the can, what's it called, that sort of green plastic one you have for indoor plants. Got that and watered it, gave it a spray, then went and did the other one. Then back to finish the washing, just stuff like that. And then as I walk past, flick the kettle on, I'll have a cup of tea as well. Then I've sort of done 3 jobs on the way to do one, and that's how I roll, baby. But yeah, New Zealand. Got to go through my backpack. Probably do that tomorrow. Just I always end up with stuff in there, and you want to get that nice, and you want to know where everything is for the flight. Laptop and book in there, and chargers, AirPods, passport, obviously, and a bag of sort of mini soap bag with moisturizer and toothbrush and toothpaste in there. Some antibacterial wipes, hand sanitizer gel. Got that in there. Dental floss sticks. And then medication, some painkillers, lip chapper as well. Your lips will get dry up there. And then little things like that you need to prepare. And I'd just like to know where everything is in the bag as well then. And then I'm actually contemplating, I think I can get away with only taking one pair of trainers there, which is my New Balance, because I can wear them on stage, and I could wear them walking around, and I can wear them sort of if I go to a gym now. I don't think I will, but they're good for that. And you obviously want to try and limit what you take, and I end up having to take a lot of T-shirts. I've got 5 shows in New Zealand, 1 in Adelaide, so that's 6 shows, so you need 6 clean T-shirts for that. But then you need T-shirts for during the day as well. So you have to think about that. Then I'll take 2 pairs of jeans, 1 light, 1 dark. You have to, 2 pairs of pajamas, start thinking in boxers, socks, right, okay. And what about comfortable stuff? Comfortable, full word. To travel around in. Stuff like that you have to think about. So, but I don't like to take loads, ideally, but I end up doing exactly that, taking lots. But 1 pair of trainers. So I was thinking of travelling in my Birkenstocks, which will make me feel a little bit conscious around the airport, maybe. Although people do it now. I actually had a meeting with somebody, an American in London. She was here on holiday, and we met up, Soho House, and she wore a Birkenstocks to the meeting. I admired it. Didn't mention it, but I admired it. I thought, nice. California, probably, I would have thought. But I admired that. So I've got them here. I'll hold them up in case you're watching. That's them. But I just thought, if you're on a plane, actually, because I want to take my trainers off, because I'll be going to, bed. My flights are 10:30 at night on Tuesday. So I'll be sleeping. So you don't want to get up, and if you want to go to the toilet or walk around, you don't want to keep having to put your trainers back on. And it's an annoying thing to do when you land as well. I don't know why, I just don't like it. Maybe I just slip on and off the old Birkenstocks. Do you think that's all right? I think it's okay, isn't it? I'll see how I look in the mirror, because I'm going to be wearing tracksuit bottoms. All bets are off when you travel. It's less mad to wear tracksuit bottoms and your Birkenstocks, I think, than it is to wear a suit. People who travel in suits, especially on long haul, blows my mind. can never get on board with that. I mean, they do, literally. But so I've got to think about everything to do over the next few days, get that ready. But it's nice to have Tuesday. Nice to have Tuesday to. I've got the full day. I won't be leaving my house until about 6:30, 7. Are we still doing that with the hands? But yeah, the flight's not till 10:30. So yeah, I'll probably leave at 7. Yeah, so I have a full day. I could not do anything until then. I will do, for the sake of my mind. But really, I wouldn't have to. I had a good week. I'm feeling better. Hopefully that's coming through. I feel at about 90%, I'd say. Yeah, 90%. Not quite there, but not far off. 90%, I'd say. So I feel pretty good for that. I had a lovely surprise this week, which is some gifts I had come through the post. So when I did my tour show in Canada, I went across Canada, did Halifax, Ottawa, Montreal, Toronto, Winnipeg, Edmonton, Vancouver, Calgary. Now, I used to live in Calgary. I've got family, friends there. My mum's best friend, since my mum was, I think they were friends since they were like 9. And she moved out there. So we've always got, when I was growing up, we'd always go out there on holiday and see them. So and then I lived there when I finished university. I went out there and lived there for a bit in 2012. And then, what was I going to say? So when I went to, back over, it was cool. Obviously, Calgary they came to, but I went to Edmonton, which I'd never been to. But Joe, so Sue is my mum's best friend. Her and Rob, they've got 3 boys, Mark, Joe and Luke. And Joe lives in Edmonton. And I'd never been, so that's not why I put the tour show on there, but I went there. It was snowing a lot that day. I think a lot of people couldn't make the show. I think they said it was like, yeah, I think over 60 people couldn't make it in. So that was a big shame, that timing. But I got there. I flew in from Winnipeg, but no judgment. But no, yeah, I think the roads were bad, so it's probably actually easier to fly in. But yeah, that it was white. That it really struck it. But Joe came along and he brought his wife. Whitney came, and then a load of his friends came. And there was one guy sat right by the stage. Didn't talk to him during the show. I actually thought he looked very Canadian. But God, I hope I get this right. I think he's Polish. Anyway, I met him afterwards, Pavel, and we all went out for dinner. Sat next to him, lovely guy. I think he used to be a chef. He used to live in Scotland. He was a chef. And he said he was a big fan of Michael McIntyre. And I said, oh, I opened for Michael on his tour. In fact, we were supposed to go and do America together. So I told him that. We're supposed to go and do America. This was December last year. So I said around March, April, I'll be in America with him. So I said, I'll sort you tickets. And it turns out his girlfriend I think she lives in Salt Lake City. He drives down there to see her, which I think is a big old drive. But he seems to just plough through. Probably literally sometimes has to plough through, I imagine. The snow they get there. But no, he goes through, and so he listens to podcasts and audio books. And I said, when you're down there, time it right, and I'll be there. I couldn't go in the end. But I still sorted in tickets. And in fact, he went along, and then him and his girlfriend, then they went into the hotel for a drink afterwards and met Michael. So he sent me a picture of him with him. Anyway, because I sorted him the tickets, he sent me gifts, plural. So I had this box, which, Pavel, if you're listening, showed me the, I don't know if you're aware it was on there, but how much you had to pay for delivery for it. And I think it might have been, I know I sorted you the tickets. I think it might have been cheaper for you just to buy the tickets yourself, probably how much you managed to spend on that. So I'm so sorry, but blimey, I was flattered. We text every now and again as well, so I messaged him and thanked him. But I got some books. I got 2 books here. He knows I like books, and he likes books. He's a big reader, as I say, and a listener because he listens to the audiobooks. So I've got a John Grisham. I've never read a John Grisham. Have I? No, I get him mixed up with someone else, I think. Who do I get him mixed up with? Or have I read a John? Have I read a John Grisham? Who's the guy? Gotta think now. I wouldn't have it there. It's a sort of book I would have read and lent out to someone. It's or just give them. Who's the guy who does them with other people a lot? Somebody wrote a book with Bill Clinton called The President is Missing. Was that a John Grisham? Let's have a look here. Second Google of the episode. Bill Clinton, The President is Missing. That's what Bill Clinton, The President is Missing. James Patterson, I'm thinking of. So yeah, never read a John Grisham. Framed. But this is, it's not a novel, it's true. It's John Grisham, Framed, Astonishing True Stories of Wrongful Convictions, which has got to be up there with people's biggest, worst nightmare, hasn't it? Think about it. Think about that. Someone you know, something happening to them is bad enough, and then everything points to you. You didn't do anything. No alibi. You have one, but there's no one that can. No one can back it up. I was at home on my own. Well, that's convenient. No one can prove that. When I was home on my own, I guess you could look at my phone, all the messages I would have sent, they would have pinged from there. Yeah, but you could just left your phone at home. What time did they go missing? 8:30. What if from 8 till 9 you didn't send a single text? Your phone's just left at home. And then this is coming out there. This is a jury's been told this. Your phone would have been at home from 8 till 9. There was no messages sent from it then. The person went missing at 8:30. No front door cameras. There's certainly no front door camera where I live. There's no proof that you did or didn't leave. But there's certainly no proof that you didn't leave. And they were missing. It's looking like you. It's looking like maybe you had an argument in public somewhere. Maybe the person texted someone and said, just had an argument with Jake. Or, yeah, what was it about? Oh, I just owed him some money. Didn't even say how much. It was only, maybe it's like £50. I just went, oh, so I just thought I was getting it back. That's all. And then they're like, whoa, no, okay, if you want the money, I'll get the money. I'm like, no, not if you don't have the money. And they're like, no, it's fine, I'll give you the money. And I'm like, no, I just made a point. I just thought when I lent you that £50, I was getting it back. And they're like, no, it's fine, I'll give it to you. And then he's like heated. It's only small, it's just a little thing, £50. And you just go, no, it's fine, don't worry about it. And they go, no, I'll get it for you. And you go, no, honestly. And then it's a big thing and you're in a restaurant, people are looking, you're going, and I'm like, calm down. And it's got to them because they don't have the money and they feel embarrassed, they didn't pay you back. And you're fine, you're trying to play it down, but it's getting escalated. And the more you say, it's fine, your voice is getting higher. And everyone says that and they go, yeah, they did have an argument in that. And they sent a text and go, Christ, I had an argument with Jake about £50. But maybe they didn't even say that, just say the money. When you tried to say it was only £50, they go, well, that doesn't add up. Yeah, it does over time. But it's not time for jokes. But then it all comes together. There's no other person. And you go, well, it's you. And then the jury just goes, it's you. And that's it. Life. It wasn't me. Anyway, yeah, so I'll read that. Astonishing True Stories of Wrongful Convictions. So yeah, thanks for that. And another one that I could be caught up in, Influencers Who Kill. Didn't know. I messaged him. I said, didn't know there was it would happen enough to fill a book. Real stories of online fame and fatal consequences. There's some names on the back. Yuka Takaoka, Nassim Agdam, Trey Sesler, David Katz, Abigail White. And more. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 examples and more. who were influencers who killed. I said to him, I was like, hopefully I'm not in volume 2. I said, but if I am, I'll send you a signed copy. And he laughed. He also got me some lovely chocolates. I haven't opened them yet. I don't know if you remember a while ago on the podcast, I was talking about the idea that they should make a mug of a Lego figure, the head, as a mug, and you drink out of that. Well, there was a box within the box that was very nicely presented. I opened up the box, had a ribbon on it. If you're watching this, I'm holding it up right now. If you're listening, there it is. It's a mug. And it's the Lego head. I didn't do the tea in it today because I didn't want to take a sip from it and ruin the surprise. But there it is, right there. How lovely is that? What a thoughtful gift. And a lovely way for me to know he listens to the podcast. So, yeah, I was so taken by that. Oh, it's a washing machine and microwave safe. But yeah, lovely. Look, it's exactly that. What I said, you drink out of their head. Brilliant. Isn't that great? So yeah, I was so taken by that. Couldn't believe it. Oh, I did have a drink in it early, and I've just turned it over to look underneath and spilled a bit down my tuxedo bomb. I have to do a third wash today. But lovely gifts. Such a great guy, and what a lovely thing for him to do, and a friendship there built just since December. Didn't know him. Now there we are, texting, sending each other gifts. Well, he sent me a gift, but I got him free tickets. So yeah, there we go, giving each other gifts. Lovely. So yeah, that was when did that come through? Maybe that was Monday. Yeah, lovely start to the week. Lovely. And one thing I want to do, actually, currently 3 things. One of them is take a sip of water. Just do that. I want to look at some comments, and I realised I have been neglecting the YouTube comments. So I'm going to start there. When I do the comments, I've been doing the Spotify comments, which is where you can get in touch, Spotify, or YouTube. That's the options I give, and then there I am, just completely ignoring the YouTube comments. So I'm sorry about that, but let's delve in and have a read them. So here we go. Check. We got. Oh, this is nice. I already liked your comedy, but when I saw you had Leonard Cohen's name displayed on the wall behind you, yeah. So that was I had his record behind me. I actually currently have the soundtrack to About a Boy by Badly Drawn Boy, which is an incredible soundtrack. He did the whole thing, just him. It is brilliant. Great film as well. Great book. Nick Hornby. In fact, Nick Hornby, who wrote About a Boy, which I've actually got a first edition of down there. He also wrote High Fidelity. He's written loads, but he Fever Pitch, another one. He was actually schoolboy friends with Joe, who I mentioned, who lived in Edmonton. His dad, Rob, Sue's husband, they were school friends. So I think actually Rob is a character in Fever Pitch because it's all about him being in love with Arsenal, and Rob is an Arsenal fan. So yeah, that just came back around. But I've got. And in fact, I spoke to Ivo Graham a while ago, and I think he's become friends with Nick Hornby. Not sure how that happened, but the two of them have become good friends. They text, and he was over the moon about that, as was I for him. But great film, and yeah, great soundtrack. Got that behind me now. There's a bit about Easter here. Oh, love porridge, Jake. We call it porridge in Australia. I have mine with a spoon of honey. Lovely. Yeah, I'm having honey in mine at the minute. I realised as well what I need to do, because I put the honey on. I also put these like flax seeds. What I realised you need to do is you put the honey on first, then the flax seeds. Not only do they stick to the honey, because I had the honey in a plastic thing. When you squeeze it, sometimes the air came out and I kept blowing the flax seeds all over the place. But yeah, and I have peanut butter and blueberries and grapes at the minute. Oh yes, we have an official US correspondent, by the way. Let's try and get as many correspondents as we can across the globe. But Kelsey is the current US correspondent. Well, I'll say because she said, "Guess I am the US correspondent now." LOL. Do you say LOL or lol? Because I say LOL. I've never gone on lol. Lol is another one. Comfy. Cuddles. Lol. Sunday scaries. There is another one. Goldilocks was probably the first time I heard the word porridge. Here we go. I wasn't sure because when I was in Canada on tour, I kept having to say oatmeal. But then when I realised after about day 2 or 3 that I'd say porridge, and they'd go, huh? And then I realised what was happening. But here we go. Sorry, one moment. Pardon me. Sorry, I hope you didn't hear that. A bit of a burp there. Goldilocks was probably the first time I heard the word porridge. It seems like the folk story kept some European terms. Then I'd wonder if we always called it oatmeal. Looks like Quaker oats rebranded in the 19th century. Boom, there we go. Official US correspondent Kelsey there. And we've got Eva's backed it up. In the US, porridge definitely sounds like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. That would be the first thought of an American, and it would sound pretty hilarious. Well, to people at Starbucks at the airport in Canada, it sounded very confusing. And someone's put, people who ask me for my advice and never do anything with it, I call them ask-holes. That's good, and that's not a swear word in case that sounded rude in front of you. Ask was the first bit there. Very good. I was talking a while ago about people that, ask me for advice, and then I give it to them, and then they just ignore it or don't do anything with it. And there we go. 2 minutes into this video, all I'm thinking is this person must have ADHD. Because this is how my inner and outer voice sounds. Wow. Huh. Diagnosis, thank you. Oh, and Baker Mayfield. Yeah, I was talking about Baker Mayfield. So that was 2 weeks ago. So I just neglected them a bit. Let's have a look here at last week's comments. Hope you feel better soon. Take care of yourself. Thank you, I do. My voice is my throat's feeling a bit dry now with talk, but I've just been talking for 38 minutes. Some people take social sports far too seriously. This is me talking about when I went to badminton and stopped going. Sorry, my throat. And then I think I drew attention to it to myself, and it's made it worse. It's usually around this point of the podcast it starts to go, though. Some people take social sports far too seriously. They tend to make their sport their whole lives. When you go and enjoy it as a casual hobby that you fit around your commitments, job, kids, health, etc., then they can get their backs up when you aren't as committed as they are. Yeah, that's true. That sort of thing puts me off because I have PDA. Pathological Demand Avoidance, a brand of autism. Wow. And I hate feeling hostility from people unless I show up the way they want me to. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. I wonder if I could delve and tap into that. Would that make sense to me? I don't know. I think I sort of mask and mold around people too much so I sort of change enough to make it whatever they need. Read tea glasses. I love the double-walled ones Bodum makes. You can Google Bodum glasses. I can and I will. Let's have a look. I was talking before about the fact that I like the Bodum glasses. I like the idea of drinking tea out of a glass. What I really like about... Oh, lovely, yeah. Huh. So they've got a double thing. It's like double glazing in a glass. What I like about it is... I've had it before. Tea, out of a glass mug. Or even a glass. And when you put the milk in, you get to see it all sort of mix in with the tea, and it becomes it's lovely to see. Lovely. Just Google them. Sorry, back to the comment. Read tea glasses. Yeah, Bodum, you can Google Bodum glasses if you don't know the ones I'm referring to. I love seeing the colours of the tea through the glass, which can be kind of meditative to watch the tea milk swell. Yeah, just what I was saying. Yeah, love that as well. Great. Porridge and eggs are the best breakfast brunch ever. My day is never right without them. Both. I went to community badminton once and they said, why don't you come back when you've practiced more? Blimey. Yeah, that's sort of, you go, well, that's why I'm here, surely to practice. Well, maybe we should do a Had Worse Mondays badminton session. Let me go into the Spotify comments. I played badminton Saturday, with my friends Leon, Dustin and Will. We went, Leon's going to be a dad in, I think it's June. I think it is June. How many? I'm sure he's mentioned how many weeks it was. But yeah, June or July anyway. And his wife was at a hen do. She's pregnant, obviously. And so she was going there to see her friends. So we thought we'd all do something just while he had some time. So I couldn't go out last night. I had a gig down in Gosport near Portsmouth. So I said, let's go and play badminton. So we rented a court in Brixton. And it was great. 4 of us played. Then me and Leon, who are a bit more experienced, I think is the politest way to put it. So we played a club doubles. It was me and Will against Leon and Dustin, then me and Dustin against Leon and Will, and then we did a best of 3. It was great fun. Really good. Will played in walking boots, I think. He sort of had these sort of boots, you'd wear on a hike. Maybe sort of keep him more grounded. I don't know. But yeah, they were sporty, but it seemed like hiking. Anyway, then me and Leon went and there was an empty court next to us. We went and had a one-on-one game. That was intense. That was great. Really fun, really lovely. So we played that for an hour. Then we went, Leon had booked us a table in a restaurant called Bird's Nest in Brixton. So we walked around to find it. We couldn't find this place. And actually, when we were on our way there, we saw this sort of office building and there was a cat inside. And it just didn't, we weren't sure if it should be there or not. It sort of came over to the door and we sort of wanted to say hello and we couldn't open the door. So I did message him on Instagram and said, just wanted to check there's supposed to be a cat in there. Later on when we left, we think we saw the cat in the street. So we're hoping it can get out. So I don't know what was going on there. Anyway, we went round trying to find this restaurant. And then we realised it's up high. Maybe why it's called Bird's Nest, I guess. So you ring a doorbell and then this exterior sort of door opens, but you're not inside once you open it. You're sort of in if the back of an office's place, it's covered, but it's sort of where maybe you could park your bikes and put some rubbish. Sort of a bit industrial. When you walk through that little car park area, then there's another door. You ring another bell. And then they open this door that's now like sort of heavy glass door. And you're sort of in a corridor, which you go around the corner and there's 3 elevators there. Press 1, it comes down, you get in and there's a sign and it says Bird's Nest. Press 12, so press 12, you go up. 12 stories high, which doesn't sound super high if you're listening to this in New York or something, but in Brixton, this part of London, that's high. So you go out there into this restaurant. Inside was quiet because this was about 2:15 now. And you go out onto their outside bit and view of all of London. All of London. It's amazing. And there was a bright, not a cloud in the sky. And just looked over London and had pizza. I wasn't prepared for that, so I didn't take any sun cream, but luckily didn't get burnt. Will did. I don't know how. I was sat next to him. I think I did sort of keep dipping my arms a little bit under the table, the shade. But yeah, that was lovely. Little hidden gem. Couldn't believe it wasn't like packed, but people maybe just don't know about it. But yeah, pizza in the sun, overlooking London. It was great. And so yeah, then I had to leave. I left about 3:45 and came back and was off to Gosport. So I came back, had a shower and everything. In fact, Leon was telling me, so his father-in-law has a plane. And he showed me the picture of the plane. And I looked at the sort of similar to what like it would be like you'd see it if you look at like a plane or a helicopter. They've got a series of letters on the side. And it's like their version of like a number plate. So I opened my plane finder app. I typed his in. I won't tell you what it was. But typed it in. I said, I'll find it. And then I could just go back and I showed him a route that his father-in-law had flown the day before. I said, there you go, that's it, look. And he went out on the 25th, 24th, sorry. He went out on the 19th and we could see his routes. Yeah, great. Very cool. I don't know if he's taken Leon up in it. Didn't ask. I think I got too into the app then, just looking at his route. I forgot to ask any follow-up questions, but I'll make a note of that. We also could see a lot of helicopters from up there, a lot of helicopters. Looked to one over the back, I could see what it was now. EC55, I think. Anyway, I said EC55 there, and over the back there is there's an R66. Dustin said, we just have to take his word for it because we don't know. I opened the app, tapped it, I said, there you go, bang, EC55. Tapped on the other one, R66. Some of them I can tell just from the sound now when they come over. Just from the sound, especially like a Chinook, obviously that's an easy one, but other ones, like if a Sikorsky comes over, I could tell it just from the sound of the helicopter. Yeah. Then I went and did this gig in Gosport, but I was on the way down there, well, actually a bit before, just before I was leaving. It's like, Gosport, I've heard of it. So I'd searched it in my emails and I did it last July. Now, what happens is when you go and do these sort of small village gigs, and it's Gosport or Village, I don't know, but when these sort of smaller places, the audience will be the same. Because if they're filling it once a month, I assume it's once a month, with comedy, the audience would usually just be the same. That's what they do. They go and watch it. It's in a church. So I thought, I did this not long ago. So I'm going to have to change up my material. Luckily, I did a new material night this week with Alan Carr. Alan Carr's working up a tour. I think the tour starts next spring, I think he said. Yeah. So I think he's got all year. Or maybe even this autumn. I don't know, but he's got some time. So he's working up a tour. I think it's next year. He's working up a tour. So I went on and did 20 minutes and I was working up some new. So I thought, well, maybe I can find a way to get that in. So the hardest bit, if you've told a joke once or twice and it's gone in, you know it, then you want to get it in your set because you're excited to tell it. It's often making it make sense amongst everything else you're talking about and also remembering it. So as I was driving down, I was listening to a podcast and I thought, I've got 40 minutes left, turn the podcast off, listen to silence and just go through the set. And I managed to build a new set. I was doing 25 minutes. So I just built it up, some new bits, how to get them in and how to create a story with them all. And it was great. Nice challenge to do. Worked. The audience seemed happy. It was really fun. So yeah, building up a new set, which is always fun to do. It's the best feelings are in comedies when you get a new joke to work, when you get a new idea, new material night, a new joke works. That's one. Then when you can get that working in the club as well, that's very good. When it all starts to come together. So yeah, that was a nice productive day. And then today I've been working on a document for a sitcom. which sometimes, it's Sunday, but you should really take the day off if you can. But if it's something you enjoy doing, and also it's going to be in the back of your mind, then it's worth just getting it done, I think. And I enjoyed it. I started working on it before breakfast, just so I was like, let me just sit down and do half an hour on this. And then it was good. It feels productive. Getting that all in order. I don't know how I got to that. But anyway, Spotify comments. Let's have a look. Jump in to Spotify comments as we come up to the 50-minute mark. Let's have a look here. So I can see someone's put here. A very late reply to you asking for a movie recommendation some episodes ago. Thank you. Yeah, I thought of this light one since the first time I encountered your comedy. You were, brackets, quite hilariously, close brackets, imitating a dog. Oh, yeah. I find the 2017 movie Unleashed charming and hilarious. Ignore the mediocre reviews. Okay. The actors are appealing and the depictions of a dog and cat are spot on without being predictable. Really made me laugh. I'll check that out. September Girl. She spelled it September. No E on the end, so it's like September. And then girl is like G-U-R-L. That's why I said it like that. And then Mime Maguire has said, do you choose the titles for your episodes? Yeah. Yes, I do. This is very much a one-man band. That's me coming up with that. Do you like it? I've tried to do the theme that it's always Jake does something. Jake does this, Jake does that. Is that right? I don't know. What will today's be? Because last week was Jake plays badminton, wasn't it? So I think it can't be that again. Jake plays badminton again. Maybe about the fact of feeling better. Maybe Jake gets a gift. I think it'd be Jake gets a gift. Anna Moore, the housemaid issue. So I spoke about watching The Housemaid, which to me just didn't quite make sense. Wasn't very clean. There was a lot of unanswered questions in it. And I thought it was going to all be tightly, what do they say? Tied up like a bow. It wasn't. I did watch it all the way through, mainly because I was waiting for some sense making. I think the problem is that you've got incredible films like Project Hail Mary that take you through all human emotion and fill your soul, and then you've got films that don't. Fair. I suppose you can't always believe the hype. Ryan Gosling, though. Wow. Yeah. And then what else did you put? I'm in a Premier Inn posh room. They have great glass mugs. Huh. I wouldn't use mugs in a hotel room, but okay, cool. In fact, yeah. Funny with hygiene, because I know some people say people are like, is it like germ freaks? Or they say something like that, and I think, is that what they say? Clean freaks, germaphobe. You want to be wary of germs. Yesterday when we were out for lunch, I was sat opposite Dustin, and he did quite a large exhale at some point. I sort of felt it on my face, and I realised it would have touched my pizza, so I just stopped eating it. I told him. I'm also a double oat Mondayer. Oh my God, there's 2 comments in a row. So what happened was, I was talking about the fact that we eat porridge and oats, and some people have oat milk with it. So you oats on oats, double oats. So Brian is put, fellow double oat Mondayer here. So now we've got, so this is how it comes about. It's organic. That's what you want. We sort of collectively we came up with the names for the listeners. We went with Mondayers. It's the Monday. But now we've organically come up with a little in-joke. And the in-joke is a double oat Mondayer. It's almost like if you're in the club, but you're in the in-club, you're a double oat Mondayer. But also it just means that they do have oat milk with porridge oats, I think. Fellow double oat Mondayer here, and yes, you are spot on about the Waterloo Vault Bar date guy. He was very intense and a bit odd. Oh, God, sorry, I hope he doesn't listen. I also once went on a first date at a place called The Jam in London, where you sit up near the ceiling. Very cool, but definitely not first date friendly. Especially when you have to climb the ladder first. Yeah. And when you say climb the ladder first, do you mean climb the ladder first before you get up there, or climb the ladder first in front of the date? Because, yeah, you do want to do second on that. I'm also a double oat Mondayer. This is from Harvey. Toppings of choice are goji berries, pumpkin seeds, and honey. You get the chew, the crunch, and the sweetness. It's a real treat. Sounds it, actually. Lovely. Ali says, are you still doing your podcast when you go away? Yes, from New Zealand. Let me have a look at that, actually. It's a very good point. Because this will come out on the 27th, tomorrow. Then I fly on Tuesday, and I fly Wednesday. I get to New Zealand on Thursday. So I get there about 11 o'clock in the morning. I've got that day off. The next morning is when I've got press, morning and afternoon. 8:35. First day, I've travelled. Leave on Tuesday. I get there Thursday. Friday morning. 8:35. Meet at I won't say the name of the hotel. 9 o'clock, arrive at Media Works. 9:15 to 9:30 on air. 9:45, arrive at RNZ, on air 10 till 10:25. 10:30 a.m, back to hotel. 3 p.m, meet Steph at hotel. 3:20, arrive at NZME. And do that 3:30 till 3:45. And then back to the hotel. That's my first day there. Then I'm off that evening at least. And I've got the next day till the show. Right. So hold on. What was I was working out when to record this, because then I've got my tour show on the Saturday in Auckland. And then on the Sunday, I'm travelling from Auckland to Wellington. And I've got a show that night. Yeah, when am I going to do this? Because then, Monday I'm in Wellington. But I've got a tour show that night. So I will either record it on the Saturday. Maybe that's best. Record it on the Saturday in Auckland. Alternatively, as we mentioned earlier, New Zealand's 12 hours ahead. Feels a bit tight for time, but I could record it on the Monday. And as long as it goes out by 2 p.m. or 2:30, my time in the afternoon, it will be the normal time it comes out everywhere else. Right, so I've got two opportunities there. I think I can either record it on the Saturday before the show. It's probably safer. Yeah, I think I have to do that. Yeah, blimey. Okay, cool. Thanks for the heads up about that. I hadn't really thought that through, but yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, right. So I've got a few more comments to get through, but we're coming up to almost an hour. So I think let us wrap that one up. Thank you for listening. It's been lovely to sit and chat with you. I'm going to go and don't know what to do now. Have a little snack, I think, and then go to the gym later because I'm feeling better. And yeah, then I've got tomorrow and Tuesday to get ready before the flight Tuesday night. So thanks for listening. Remember to leave a review where you can, please. Post about it if you listen to it. Maybe share it on a story or something. Maybe that'll be a nice thing for people to do. Then we get the word out there a bit more. And as always, thank you for listening. And as always, I'll see you next Monday from New Zealand. Right, yeah, cool. See you next Monday. Bye.